Today, we're talking about a lure that when you first tie it on, it's going to be a source of great frustration. You are going to hate this thing. But once you get it figured out and you see the little tricks behind it, it will turn into one of your biggest fish catching tools. What is it? Well, stick around. We're going to talk all about it. I was waiting on you, honey. Got him. Oh, he missed it. I got hit. He slapped at it and didn't take it. Got him that time. Welcome back to Lowbrow Fishing, and today we're talking about one of the goofiest baits I have in my arsenal. This thing looks like a gimmick. You know, we've all seen those types of baits, whether you're online at Tackle Warehouse or Bass Pro, or you're in the store at Academy or Dick's or what have you. You see those baits on the shelf and you're like, oh, that's meant to catch anglers, not fish. You can spot them from a mile away. And this bait definitely falls in that category. However, it's actually a really good lure. You know, my buddy Hank over at Bass Geek, he turned me on to this and he said, Lowbrow, this thing is going to drive you nuts until you get it figured out. And once you do, it's going to be one of the biggest producing summertime lures that you're going to have. And he was right. You know, it takes a while. There's a bit of a learning curve, but once I figured it out, I'm telling you what, I have caught so many fish with this thing. I'm, of course, talking about this guy right here. This is the Booyah Prank. It's a popper with a bill on it, you know, almost like a crankbait. It's like a little square bill, a little diving bill. And this thing looks like a gimmick. You look at that and you go, oh, there's no way that's going to work. And I'm telling you what, this thing catches so many fish for me. I don't know how well you can see it, but it's certainly scraped and beaten up. And I've only had this thing for a little while. I've only had it for maybe a month or so. And it's already caught so many nice fish for me. But before we get started with that, if you like bass fishing content that always tries to be inclusive, whether you fish from a boat or whether you're fishing from the bank, and always thinking about budget because not everyone has a lot of money to spend on bass fishing gear, then this is the channel for you. Click that subscribe button down below. And while you're down there, give this video a like. I would really appreciate it. Also, there's something very important I want to talk to you guys about, and that is, ever since I got the new boat, there's a lot of extra costs that go with it. Not just the gas, not just the oil, because she's an old smoky two-stroke, but also the trailers, the bearings, the lights, the upkeep on the truck, the extra gas, and all of these other things, the insurance that I have to put on it. So I'm thinking about doing something like Patreon. Now, would you guys be okay with that? My goal in the long run is to get away from monetization. I would completely like to turn monetization off on my channel and have no commercials if I could do that. You know, YouTube probably wants to play ads on it anyway, but I'm just saying that that would be my goal. And one of the ways I can do that is if I get some support for Patreon. Now, I don't want to do YouTube channel memberships because YouTube channel memberships are more expensive and they take more of the slice of the pie. Where Patreon, I have a lot more freedom to do the things that I would like to do to better interact with you guys. So if it's something that you're interested in, something that you would like me to do, let me know and we'll look at it down the road. Now, getting back to business, talking about this guy right here, you know, and obviously I still had it tied on. And what I was fishing it with is, well, this is just my standard, one of my standard fishing rigs that I use whenever I'm out on the big lake. This is a 7.2 medium heavy with a fast action tip. I've got 30-pound braid to a monofilament leader because I wanted a little bit of a float. Obviously, this is top water. But the thing about it is I wanted that 7.2 rather than a 7-foot because this thing is very, very light. So that extra couple of inches really allows me to get some more distance on the cast. And the way that I've been fishing this bait is I've been using it in two different ways. And that is along the bank, paralleling the bank, and working it over laydowns, over timber, or by brush piles, and spot working it. If I see a spot that I think I can work a popper in or work that crank in, I'm doing it. And Hardly anybody on my lake is using this lure, if anyone. It's definitely a secret, and it really works well to catch a lot of those unsuspecting bass. All right, now why is it going to be a source of frustration? Well, it does not work like a popper. It does not work like a crankbait. It does not work like a jerkbait. And, you know, it took me a minute to figure out just exactly what I wanted to do with this. How was it going to work for me? How was I going to fit it into my arsenal? And the way that I was using it is, well, just really slow pops. And I would do it very subtle, or I would do it very hard and give it a really good rip. Now, with it being just a subtle twitch, it will go underwater after every single time you pop it. That's what that bill does. But it actually acts like a scoop. It forces water into that popper more, so you're going to get a lot more splash. So just light taps on your line with slack line, a lot of times that's going to get the job done. Also, it allows you to work the bait just a little bit faster. And if you really want to kind of combine subsurface with a big loud presentation, you can do that too. But either way, it's not going to be a very fast retrieve. You know, one of the first things I figured out how to do with it was, like I said, drag it over timber. And one of the first times I tied it on and started working with like that, well, this was the result. Got him. Ooh, he went after it. The booyah prank. That's not a bad one, kids. You really... Ooh, I had you good. Come here. All right. Hank Rogers, buddy, Bass Geek. That one's for you, man. That one right there is for you. Got that dude on the old booyah. Oh, you've been caught before. That's a nice fish. The booyah crank, or booyah prank rather, doing damage. See if we can't get you undid without hurting myself. Ugh. That one's there. Just got my thumb. Now you're in my thumb. You're not a bad fish. Let me see what we got here. Alright. Doing damage with the booyah prank. Doing damage with the booyah prank. Oops. No. Feisty boy. I was about to let you go, but I want to look at you first. Pound and 3/4. Between a pound and a half and a pound and 3/4. Beautiful, beautiful bass. Thank you so much. We appreciate you playing. Whew, feisty. Let's go get another one. So, nice and simple. I found a way that was very productive for me. And during the summertime, whenever I have pressure on the lake, a lot of those bass, they like to spread out. They either go deep away from that pressure, away from that boating pressure and fishing pressure, or they will go hide in the hydrilla flats and up under the laurel bushes and overhanging trees. And this lure is perfect for working in that shallower water. You know, I can work it right along the bank. I can flip it and pitch it right into those spots, give it a couple of twitches, and then bring it back to me. But another way, and where this really excels, is in the post shad spawn, which is where this bait is really shining for me. And that is, I'm out there on the deck of the boat and I see bass busting all over the place. And this is happening all over the lake, is you're seeing bass bust all over the place. But unlike traditional busting bass, where you see them busting and you reel up and you throw it over there, if you do that, you're going to miss them. You are going to be late. On my electronics on my new boat, those bass are nothing but a blur. And I don't have forward-facing sonar. All I have is just down imaging. So I see those bass in a snapshot, and they are long streaks, and there are thousands of them. There are so many bass. It's just streaks because they are moving so fast. And you have to take that into consideration. So like I said before, I stand there like a sentinel. I stand there like a pole and I wait to see where they splash. And then that's when I cast in. It imitates those little fry, the little splashes on the water that those bass are making whenever they're going up after those fry. They make the splash, it makes a bunch of racket, and it's a great way to catch bass, and it catches them quick. It's what I've been doing for the past 3 or 4 times I go out and I'm fishing on the big lake. Now, you are wading through dinks. You are wading through a lot of dinks, but in those dinks, there are quite a few nice bass that you can catch. The 1.5 pound, 2 pound plus, because we've talked about that before. The lake is full of mostly dinks. Any lake is, right? Especially a public fishery is going to have most of the smaller fish. And when all of them are chasing those fry back and forth, those are going to be the ones that you're going to have to go through first because they're the most active. They're going to be the ones that attack anything more than not. The bigger ones are going to be the ones that are holding back and a bit more cautious. But whenever you catch those little bass, it's crazy just to see how fat and thick that they are. Now, they're short this way, right? Normally, 1/2 pounder, 1/4 pound dinks. But these things have actually tummied up so much that you think that you've actually got a fairly nice bass whenever you hook into one. So at least there's that. And that booyah prank is great for that instance. I'm using it time and time again. I've tried tying on other things, regular poppers, devil's horse, boy howdy, baits that make splashes on the surface, even a head and torpedo. I've even gone with walking baits like the old head and spook or a 3DB from Yozuri. I've tried different types of walking baits and none of them are getting the job done quite like that prank. That prank has been a standout bait in that situation. And these bass are right up next to the bank. I've had them bust up right up onto the boat, right up around me, and then they move and they're all over the place. I mean, they are moving all over the place. So even if you're standing on the bank, you will see that those bass are going to come up to you very, very quickly. So there you have it. A crazy little bait for sure. But once you figure out how it works for you, it can be super, super effective. And best of all, they don't cost that much. So all summer long, you can keep catching those nice bass. Thanks for watching Lowbrow Fishing. We'll catch you in the next one.